Hey guys, I'm Gokul and welcome back to Prompted Path. In my last video, I said I'm learning computer science in the age of AI, one honest experiment at a time. So here's my first experiment. I asked AI, specifically ChatGPT, to create a 1 month CS study plan for me. So why ChatGPT? Honestly, why not? But also because it's supposedly really good at planning and strategy, and I was curious how it would structure my first month. So let's see what it came up with and whether any of it actually makes sense for a real beginner. Alright, so I started with the really simple prompt, nothing fancy, just what an average beginner would type if they were trying to get started. Here's what I asked. I'm a complete beginner learning computer science. Can you create a 1 month CS study plan for an adult learner? I can study 2 hours on weekdays, maybe 3 hours sometimes, and a bit more on weekends. I'm starting from scratch, so keep it beginner friendly. That's it. No constraints, no clever prompting. I just wanted to see what ChatGPT would give me by default, the way a real person would ask on day one. Now let's talk about the plan itself, because there are some genuinely good things in here and a few things that don't really hold up once you look closer. The good things first. One, the weekly structure. I didn't even ask for weeks, but it broke the whole month into clean, small chunks. That's actually really helpful for a beginner. It gives you a sense of progression without overwhelming you. Two, starting with Python. This makes complete sense. If you look at almost every modern university course, from CS50, MIT, Stanford, they've all moved toward Python for their intro courses because it is considered beginner friendly. So that part, ChatGPT got absolutely right. And three, it sprinkles in mini projects and debugging really early. That's actually great. Debugging especially is something beginners usually avoid, but getting exposed to it early is really important. Now here are the bigger issues, the things that really stood out once I looked more carefully. 1. It skipped the real basics. There's no mention of setting up Python, choosing an editor, or getting your environment ready. For an actual beginner, that's a serious missing step. 2. It tries to cover way too much. It has me learning algorithms, CS theory, big O, data structures, albeit at a beginner level, all in the first month. So this plan ends up being very broad, but not very deep. It seems optimized for productivity, not understanding. It's the kind of plan someone might follow if they want to rush toward a job or feel productive, not someone trying to build real foundations at a steady, healthy pace. 4. And this is interesting, even though I had mentioned I was an adult learner, it had some blind spots that matter a lot for adult learners. There's no room for spaced repetition, no revision or recall, no slow days, no buffer days, and no acknowledgement of energy dips or cognitive load. And ironically, it doesn't even integrate AI into the study process despite being written by an AI. Finally, there's zero math. No pre-calculus, no calculus, nothing. That's another core part of CS that's completely missing. Overall, there's good structure here, but also some very real cracks once you compare it to how actual humans learn, especially adults learning later in life. After that first attempt, I refined the prompt. I told ChatGPT that I'm learning CS more like a university student, slowly, with depth, not like a get productive fast bootcamp. I also mentioned that I'm an adult learner, so the pacing needs to respect that. This version was definitely better. It slowed everything down, focused on fundamentals, added realistic beginner projects, and avoided rushing into algorithms or theory. So the improvement was real. But some issues were still there. The plan is still a bit too broad. It still leans towards learn to code quickly rather than learning with deep understanding. And again, zero math. So even with better constraints, the model still leans in favor of speed and completeness. The biggest thing I learned here is this. When I said give me a 1 month plan, I didn't mean fit everything into month 1. I meant this is the first month of a continuous journey. But AI tends to optimize for completeness, not continuity. So if you ask it for a 1 month plan, it tries to cram everything a beginner might need into that 1 month instead of treating it as a month 1 of a long journey. And that is important to remember when using AI for learning. There you go. That was my first experiment. Next, I'm going to tweak this plan a little and actually start learning Python using a slower, more realistic structure. And as I go, I'll keep testing how AI helps, where it gets in the way, and what actually works for someone starting fresh. If you're learning CS or starting over later in life and you want to see how this slow, honest approach plays out, follow along on Prompted Path. See you in the next experiment.